Hello, captains, and welcome to our very first episode of Replay Theater here in World of Warships. Got a nice battle here featuring the Tier 8 battleship, the Premium Tirpitz. We'll take a look here and see what our matchup looks like. So this is sent to us by one KieranJones. They're a stream sniper aficionado and friend of the Twitch channel. So thank you very much, Kieran, for sending in this video. We do have a CV in this match, and it's worth noting the Dirpitz has very weak horizontal deck armor, so it is very susceptible to AP bombs, and it's susceptible to anti-air fire in general. However, with the Lexington on the opposing team, Kieran's not going to have to worry about that as much because the Lexington will have high explosive dive bombs, which, while they can pose a somewhat significant threat, not nearly as dangerous as the AP bombs. The Dirpitz is also very difficult to citadel. It has a well-protected turtleback armor scheme. Nice little shot on the Chappie up there. So far, Kieran's doing a nice job here. They're moving toward the decap, looking to support their team. Perhaps a little bit clustered together here, but early on with a CV attacking, not a bad strategy here.
Torpedoes, direct front.
As a battleship player, you want to try and be tanking damage for your team as much as possible. And Kieran looks to be moving into a pretty aggressive position here. Especially with something like the Dirpitz, you want to be aggressive whenever you can be, because those secondaries are a big part of what makes your ship effective. Plus, you've got torpedoes. As a shot out on the Alabama here, looks pretty good. It's got the one pen, maybe a bit unlucky there. The dispersion, although it's been recently buffed for the German battleships, it's still not fantastic. Looks to have a decent shot here at the Bismarck. Whenever you're firing at German battleships in particular, I highly recommend aiming a tad higher, more towards the upper belt area if possible. That's where you're more likely to get solid, consistent pen damage. You won't get as many ricochets. The reason that you do that is for the German battleships, you're just not going to be able to consistently land citadels. Got a broadside Baltimore here. This is a good shot. I like Kieran's positioning here. Sort of rotating back around. Really can't push into that DD by themselves, so not a bad play here. Plus, their friendly CV is attacking that DD right now in decap. So I do like Kieran's positioning here early on. Not a lot of damage to show for it, but really you don't want to get sucked into trying to do too much damage too early. You don't want to be YOLOing. Stay alive. Dead ships can't help their team win games. Secondaries are going off on that destroyer now. They should have him taken out fairly soon. Oh, the shot was just behind on the Otago there. Pretty long-range shot, so worth the effort, but didn't quite get the luck he needed. So this Bismarck, Alabama group down here is somewhat out of position to contest the cap now. And I'm looking over at this DD at B on the good guy team here. And they really should be moving in to try and cap at this point. Kieran's team's done a nice job clearing out all the threats. They've pushed them all the way back to the GH lines there. Looks like they are headed that way. Oh, but they just got taken out by the Lexington, unfortunately. That's going to make things a bit more interesting. And I just noticed a Chapiev moving into the middle. That's interesting as well. The Kieran's creeping forward here. Not a bad time to kind of make a little bit of a push. You don't want to be super aggressive. But that Bismarck is almost down. You'd love to finish off that ship. Taking a shot at him now. Yeah, a couple hits there. Bismarck is fairly well angled at the moment. With the Massachusetts and the Tirpitz here, though, they should be able to knock out that Bismarck fairly quickly. Got the secondaries going off as well. Massachusetts will undoubtedly be running a secondary build. Ooh, just behind there. A little unlucky, maybe. I like this push here, though. The Baltimore can't support right now because they're behind that island. They need this Bismarck down. That shot looks pretty good. Alright, there's one problem solved. The Bismarck's out of the match. Now these secondaries are probably going to be focusing on this Alabama, and Alabama is in for a world of hurt. Don't forget the Tirpitz does have torpedoes as well. This is a very good situation for a Tirpitz. I believe the torpedoes are 6 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. You can see Kieran's taking a look and trying to figure out when he can get these torpedoes away. I think that shot was a mistake there. Probably should have tried to fire those into the superstructure. You're not going to overmatch the bow with Tirpitz guns on an Alabama. Probably should have tried to get some guaranteed damage. Now here, I want to pause this for just a moment. In this instance, one thing you want to do is if you're brawling a battleship, this Massachusetts is going to... They've got too much speed. They're going to go past you. So what I'd like to see here is you should try and hold your fire until you get a nice flat broadside. Because if you can get that broadside at this range, you're going to delete this battleship. So we'll see what happens here. I think Kieran had just fired. We're going to find out here in a second. Oh, got some pens though. Worked out pretty well.
Attention, reporting the target position.
The Massachusetts. The Alabama there must have just been low enough health. If they were healthier though, hold your fire in that situation. Wait till you get that perfect broadside, because you have your Citadel protected by the turtleback armor. You're virtually impossible to Citadel. The Alabama does not have the turtleback Citadel. You can Citadel that thing at that range all day. But well done there by Kieran. Looking to try and finish off this Balti. Massachusetts is going to get him first, though. Alright, looks like it's time to start pushing toward that sea cap.
Jolly good show, old boy.
I really like a lot of what Kieran has done here. They were patient early on. They took some shots. Got a little bit unlucky, maybe with some accuracy. But now that the opportunity presented itself, when the DD was dead, they started pushing, which is always what you want your battleships to do. Once those destroyers are dead or neutralized, if you're playing a battleship, it really helps your team if you can start pushing. Doesn't hurt when you have two secondary beasts like a Tirpitz and a Massachusetts either. Go on, get him. Get him. Ooh. Just turned out a little bit there. Kieran's team has lost B. There is a big push going on north. So they are going to need to win this south side here. And they're going to need to get in that cap. Tago's pushing as well. So this is it's a good team effort here. It's a good team push. Ooh, give me more overpens, right? Alright, this might be a tad high. Looks pretty good, though. Oh, it's actually a really good shot there. Again, getting unlucky. Got those secondaries starting to pop off now. This is what you want to do with the Tirpitz. You want to get those secondaries into range. You are tanky. Satago's making a mistake here trying to torpedo, in my opinion. Showing a lot of broadside there. That's really risky. The enemy Atago there was already low health. You should just try and stay bow in and save your hit points. You never know when you might need them later. That's one thing I noticed there. Don't get yourself blapped just because you're trying to get some torpedoes away. So it looks like Kieran's CV has died, unfortunately, which is going to mean that that DD is going to be very difficult to spot. There is still a Chapiev. Cleveland just went down as well, so now we're in a 4-on-4 situation. However, Kieran's team's in a tough spot here. Take a look at that lineup here. Oh, actually, the Chapiev kills the Massachusetts, so that's good. But the CV is going to be a big problem, as is the DD. The Destroyer is low health. But it looks like this North Carolina is going to be pushing down the middle. Actually, might be a really good opportunity here. Kieran is such a good, in a good spot here to go push middle, see if he can take out that North Carolina. The Tirpitz is such a good ship for that. Let's see if that's what he decides to do. One thing I'd like to do here with these replay analyses is I want to watch them live, essentially, and try and give, you know, kind of sort of live feedback on it. There's the DD. So what I don't want to do is like watch it, study it, and like just try and pick apart every little thing. I want to try and think of it in terms of, okay, what kind of quick decision making, you know, should a player be making in the moment? Because you can Monday morning quarterback all sorts of stuff. But I want it to be something about like real-time decision making. That's really the goal here. Because if you think about later what you could have done in a different situation, that is helpful to learn. But at the same time, you have to actually be able to apply it in real time. So we're down on points here. Kieran's team is not looking good. They are up a ship, but they're down over 300 points. Here come the torpedoes for the Mass. Oh, get them. Nice, Massachusetts. Here comes the North Carolina. I don't know if Kieran's paying close enough attention to the mini-map here, potentially. As they are right there. They're coming for you, Kieran. Better accelerate and avoid those torpedoes, too. Still down on points, though. 5 minutes left. I'd like to see Kieran aim a bit higher there. I want to see those shots try and go for the superstructure. If a battleship is well angled, it doesn't do you any good to hit the lower belt, or, yeah, the lower belt, you know, the angled bow armor. You're not going to do a lot of damage there. I'd also like to see him bow in right now and push straight in. Those torps look pretty good, though. But he's showing a decent amount of side here. I'd like to see him push in. Don't worry about those back guns. And just start pushing. Those torps look nice, though. The North Carolina really did him a favor there. They were not paying attention. They should realize that the Tirpitz has torpedoes, and they should not have turned broadside. No doubt about it. They were punished for it. But good torpedoes there from Kieran. I would have liked to have seen them after they launched the torpedoes, turn that bow in, make it really difficult to take return damage. The reason being is that you always want to mitigate as much damage as possible at any given time, because you never know when those hit points are going to be the difference between life and death. So we're getting to do our battleship mid-rush here now. The Lexington is somewhere out, it looks like, based on where the planes are, I would guess somewhere on the C line, maybe C4. Somewhere out there. Kieran definitely needs to push into this cap. Not sure there's enough time to actually cap, though. They may have to kill this CV. And Kieran is going to get focused. The AA, not so good for the Tirpitz. Also, he should be popping his fighter right now. I'd like to see that fighter up in the air. I haven't really seen it being launched at all. I'd like to see that. Not sure the Lexington has moved. The Lexington should be running away. Kieran's going to have to get lucky here. Where are you, CV? Oh, he's right there. Mistake in positioning by the Lexington.
All stations requesting fire support.
Got the Citadel. Ooh, 19,000 damage. Good hit there from Kieran. Got the torpedoes coming in. I think Kieran waited a bit too long to try and dodge these. He's going to take one of them. Probably should have been turning a bit sooner. But I just want to highlight those things so that players watching can identify potential opportunities to avoid some incoming damage. Oh no! Detonated. How unfortunate. Oh, the Lexington, though, is very low, and the Otago is got him. That was very unfortunate. That was so unfortunate. Let's see if this Lexington's going to survive. It's going to be close. AP from the Otago. Looks pretty good. Oh, better switch back to HE. They're angling away. The Otago is healthy enough to withstand a couple rocket plane strikes, so they should be alright. They need to switch to HE, though. I think the AP is going to struggle. Not doing that much damage at this angle. Kieran's sitting on 142,000 damage with 5 torpedo hits, 3 kills, and a detonation. Oh, but the Massachusetts with the fire gets him. What a finale there. So all in all, a really solid battle there from Kieran. I think his team did a lot of really good things there. Just a couple things that I noticed that maybe could be improved upon is recognizing the torpedo planes coming in for a torpedo strike. You want to try and turn into the planes or turn away from the planes, depending on, you know, sort of your angle. You want to get as skinny as possible to avoid those. I noticed that maybe being an opportunity to mitigate a bit of damage there. Pretty unlucky with the detonation, though, unfortunately. But overall, just a really solid game. Also, using that fighter a little bit more when the aircraft were in the area. I would have liked to have seen Kieran do that as well. And a little bit more angling. In that one situation I mentioned, after launching torpedoes at the North Carolina, would have liked to have seen a little bit more angling to reduce the incoming damage. And last but not least, angled battleships. If you can't overmatch the bow armor, which usually you're not going to be able to, you should assume that you can't overmatch a battleship's bow armor in a fellow battleship, unless you're in a Yamato or Musashi. So you want to try and shoot the superstructure. You might get overpens, but you're going to get some damage. Ricochets don't do any damage. That being said, really great game by Kieran there. Thank you very much, Kieran, for sending me that video. I appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And more importantly, probably most importantly of all, I hope you all learned a little bit. That's really the point of the replay analysis. It's never to be critical or harsh in any way. It's just meant to be constructive feedback. So I hope that everybody will take it that way. And in the interest of continued learning, I hope that was helpful. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.